All right, welcome into the intro masterclass. We are about to go over every single thing that you need to know to write an engaging intro that keeps people past the 30 to 60-second mark. Now, I've developed a framework for this that I think is really good. So let's go ahead and dive in. And okay, going off this video from the last lesson, we can go ahead and check this out. So as you can see, I have a couple questions in here that I think are extremely valuable for writing an intro. So first, we want to kind of establish, how can I make this appeal to someone with 500 subscribers? That's a very important question because we want beginners to be able to understand our content, right? Because generally, the biggest market, the most amount of people are beginners rather than advanced people. So we need to make sure that we're actually giving them value and not just people who already understand the concept. So I wrote down by giving them examples of common title frameworks, because again, this video is about how to write a title. So if a beginner sees an example of a common title framework and they're like, okay, I can come up with a bunch of good titles based off of this framework, then that's super valuable to them. And that could be like, to prove it's not luck, I wrote 7,500 titles to prove it's not luck. Easy framework. I built X in a row to prove it's not luck. I wrote 7,500 titles in a row to prove it's not luck, right? It's like, those are very useful frameworks that you can like use that most beginners don't know about. So that was that one. And then the next question is, how can I make this appeal to someone with 10 million subscribers? Because you also want to appeal to the advanced people, because if not, then, your audience is going to be all beginners. That's fine. But for my channel and my business on the back end, we work with bigger YouTubers. So I want the advanced audience to be able to watch this video and take something away from it. And how I answered that question was essentially just showing them new title formats. Big YouTubers can always benefit from just learning some new title frameworks. I think that's super valuable for them because then they can, come up with more ideas and have their videos perform better. And the next one I ask is, how can I make this appeal to my mom? I just like this because it tells me, like, it gives me an idea of like, how can I make this appeal to someone who's like never heard about YouTube, has no idea about anything. And I think that's super valuable. It's just like, how can I make this interesting to someone who doesn't even know about YouTube? That, my mom likes data, so I just put by showing data. It could be different for you. So yeah, I always make sure I ask myself those 3 questions before I dive into a script. And now let's go ahead and get into the actual intro. So I have this framework. I got this from Colin and Samir. I changed it a little bit, but it's pretty much just their exact framework, so full credit to them. The first thing that I want to do is immediately confirm to the viewer that this video is what they clicked on and the packaging is not clickbait. We've kind of already gone over how to do this. I wrote 7,500 titles to beat the YouTube algorithm. Again, just matching the title and thumbnail. Next, we move on to the next line. Introduce new narratives or unclosed loops. I also like to include some social proof, so I'll add this here. I don't actually have that in the framework, but essentially just add social proof. I like to add that in the second line. I wrote 7,500 titles to beat the YouTube algorithm. And doing this has taken my YouTube channel from 0 to 5,000 subscribers in only 2 months. That's social proof because I'm establishing, okay, I actually know what I'm talking about. That's super important. That is what you want to do as early in the script as possible. So go ahead and just add like a social proof in the second line. I like to mention it 2 to 3 times in my intro just to really make sure that that is dialed in and people understand that, I actually do know what I'm talking about, especially on, a channel with such low subs. You have to make that very clear. So I would add that there. The next line is introduce new narratives or unclosed loops. So an unclosed loop is essentially raising a question that hasn't been answered and you don't answer it. So what I would do here is introduce a new narrative. I would say 99% of small YouTubers are writing titles wrong. So I'm not saying like, oh, there's this big secret or anything. That is an unclosed loop because if I say that line, people are going to be like, okay, well, what's the right way? So 99% of small YouTubers are writing titles wrong. And it's likely the reason that they're still waking up with no new subscribers. I just like to add that line because it's a good line for YouTube growth. There are certain lines that you learn over time that your audience just responds to, and that's one of them for me. So essentially, I raised the question, what is the right way to write titles? And I might actually raise one more in that. 99% of small YouTubers are writing titles wrong, and it's likely the reason that they're still waking up with writing titles wrong. And it's likely the reason that I like to apply it to the audience, you're still waking up with no new subscribers. But there is a step-by-step framework that the top YouTubers follow. And it allows them to get millions of views without creativity or without used to write titles. titles. And once you learn it, your videos will go from this to this, right? So now I'm essentially showing them a transformation here. That's super powerful. And what I'm also doing is opening another loop. But there is a step-by-step framework that the top YouTubers use to write titles. And then they're like, okay, what is that step-by-step framework? And that's like the promise of the video, right? I'm going to go over that step-by-step framework. And once you learn it, your videos will go from this to this. So here's the question, but once we answer that question, here's what's going to happen to you. So that really convinces them to stick around. And that's super important while you're writing your intros because, you want people to stay past that 30-second mark and not just click off. So after this, the next thing is make sure that you set the right expectation in the intro. With this, I usually like to establish another line of credibility. So I could say, and this is the same framework that I used to take Joel Kaplan, which is one of my clients, from 6,000 to over 237,000 subscribers. Boom. Another form of social proof, right? So I'm showing okay, I've actually done this to get over 100,000 subscribers, right? I've used this framework. So that's super powerful. All of you have social proof. You just need to find it. And that could be in your personal life, in the gym, whatever you're good at, leverage that and just figure out some way to frame it as you have authority, because that's the most important thing. And if you have no authority at all, then you know what? It's all good. You're still going to be fine, but just try to find anything that you can to put it in there. Maybe you've had a YouTube short blow up to 100,000 views. Put that in there. Just anything you can, just squeeze it in. And the last thing is establish singularity. Why is your video or POV unique? For me, it would be something around, okay, I've been doing YouTube for 3 years, made over 6 figures online. It could also be the mission of the channel, which is I'm on a mission to take 1,000 people to over 100,000 subscribers completely for free. So that's another thing that I could say, right? So establish singularity. And this is the same framework that I used to take Joel Kaplan from 6,000 to over 237,000 subscribers. But today I'm giving it all away for free because I'm on a mission to take 1,000 people to over 100,000 subscribers, right? So that's an easy way to establish singularity. What is your goal? Why are you different? That's my motto, right? Is I'm giving it all away for free because I'm on a mission to take 1,000 people to over 100,000 subscribers. Sweet. So that's writing an intro from scratch. Now I want to go over an actual intro that I've already filmed. So let's go ahead and go into one of my most recent videos. YouTube is a video game. Here's how you win. First off, I answered those questions. I'm not going to go over those, but you can pause if you want to. Immediately confirm to the viewer that this video is what you clicked on and is not clickbait. YouTube is a video game, and if you understand how to play, you can level up fast and get millions of views. Just like one of my clients, boom, just like one of my clients who got 1.9 million views and made over $6 million in the last 12 months. That's some social proof, right? Second line. Introduce new narratives or end closed loops. You see, YouTube has a secret cheat codes to guarantee you go viral. Has secret cheat codes, obviously. What are those cheat codes that guarantee you go viral? It's also relating back to the title, cheat codes, like a video game. And I use these cheat codes myself to go from 0 to 1,000 subscribers on this channel in under 1 month. Boom, more social proof. I learned these from working with people like the Cheeky Boyos, Eric, and Young Gravy. More social proof. But 99% of small YouTubers don't know them. So it's no wonder that when you post a new video, you wonder why it doesn't get 1,000 views. So again, open loop. And I'll be honest, it's not because your content is bad. Open loop, why is it not working? And then I answer it. It's because the top creators understand, well, actually I answer it, but I don't answer it. It's because the top creators understand that there are shortcuts to going viral. What are those shortcuts? And just like a video game, once you learn how to play, you can advance through the levels much faster. Okay, how do I learn how to play? Make sure you set the right expectations. In this video, I'm going to give you all of these secrets away for completely free, my unique proposition, so that your next video can look like this. Bam, result. And then it hops into the script. So as you can see, it's a very effective scripting framework. It works amazingly well, as you can see, just from my channel. That retains people way better than any other script framework that I've ever seen. So I think that this is super valuable for you guys. I'm gonna make sure I link this framework down below so you guys can get it. I think it's gonna help you out a lot. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's move on to the next lesson where I teach you the storytelling structures that you can use to go viral.